Yeah. Mic check 1 2, you hear me? 144 back again. Run it back. Yeah. It's time to leave the enemy desolate. I'm heaven sent. These niggas just on some extra shit, and I ain't impressed with it. Could you kick that bullshit to the left of me? Hey, look, you can't deny this excellence. I use this mic like weaponry, and I've been seeking more clarity. Right now, I'm ready as I'll ever be, rugged as I ever been. The devil knocking at my door, I'ma let him in. Cause I'm a worthy adversary. Pour them liqueur laced with rosemary. It's time to grind, ain't no time to tarry. Take one of mine, get your soul carried. I got them worry, plus these niggas full of estrogen. They fickle, they false. Got a big ball, so end up in the real issue. Fuck with my brethren, I deal with you. Yeah. Look, it's getting real official. Seeing how them bitches can cross you, and how they still twist you. It'll hit you, then peel a tissue. Them others weak, my brother's been sent to the deep. So tell me, how can I turn the other cheek while this wicked world trying to smother me? Something gotta shake, I'm gonna cry it out. Time to gird up my loins and ride out. In my soul, I feel devastation. In my eyes, I see desolation. On my door, death is waiting. But I don't want to see no more desolation. I said I don't want to see no more. Hey, in my soul, I feel devastation. In my eyes, I see desolation. At my door, death is waiting. But I don't want to see no more desolation. But I don't want to see no more.
Beat the cops, beat the ops, beat the motherfucking eyes. I'm the one. Why you think that I've been rolling with a Kai? Your little arms is too short to hotbox with God. French is long, team strong with them, a gun, die would die. Tired of these fake snakes, crooked Nate to oppress Jake. No pressure makes diamonds I won't break on this crooked landscape. We gon' make some shake, so I ain't got time to argue with you fucking reprobates. While these crackers getting richer when we raise the crime rate, and they hunt my people like gorillas and some primates. So we in these streets trying to raise a brother's mind state in every concrete jungle, from Cali to the tri-state. I buried brothers over beef that they couldn't squash. Blood in the streets, brains out like galosh. I trust the cracker when I mix that squash. You listening to real niggas, dog, who can't be bought. Whoa. Why you think I go so hard? Cause this world's fucked up, nigga, I've been scarred. PTSD, brothers can't drop their guard. Every day some bullshit, you gotta weave and bob. It's no facade, so every day I'm on my job. It's time to send these devils to the land of Nod. Cause when I lost my religion, that's when I found God. So when I lost my religion, nigga, I found God.
In my soul, I feel devastation. In my eyes, I see desolation. On my door, death is waiting. But I don't want to see no more desolation. I said I don't want to see no more. Hey, in my soul, I feel devastation. In my eyes, I see desolation. On my door, death is waiting. But I don't want to see no more desolation. And I don't want to see no more.
Hey, Shalom Israel. Y'all watching me outside, Braga Thumb to the brothers. Y'all Shamal Thumb watching me outside to the sisters. I'm Police Officer Parak, holding down the Wednesday law class for the ISUPK coming out of Phoenix, Arizona. All right. If you're watching online, at the very bottom of the screen, you can see our class location, 12416 North 28th Drive. We're in Phoenix, Arizona, 85029. We're in suite number 4. All right. If you're in the Phoenix area, come by. Off of the corner of 28th Drive and Cactus. We got classes every Tuesday through Friday at 7 p.m. and every Saturday we hold our Sabbath service at 11 a.m. All right. So today, look, man. If you're watching online, you can see the title of today's class is "The Judgment of the Nations." All right, the judgment of the nations. It's been a long enough since I've taught a class on the judgment of the nations. And I wanted to throw some other things in this class, right, to understand more in depth what the judgments of the nations is, and really in teaching the judgment of the nations, we have to understand why the nations are going to be punished. All right, spoiler alert: the judgment that the nations are going to face is punishment. All right, we're going to come to find out that the nations have touched the apple of the Most High's eye. Right, you find that in the book of Jeremiah. Right, the children of Israel are the Most High's favorite people. All right, the book of Second Ezra, I believe it's Second Ezra, tells us that the Most High's favorite people is the children of Israel. And you find that all throughout the Bible, right? Even Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter, Amos, the 3rd chapter. All throughout the Bible, you find that the Most High has a favorite group of people, and that group of people is the children of Israel, his chosen people. And the other nations are as spittle to him. We also find that throughout the Bible, right? Throughout the scriptures. And those nations, right, that the Most High looks at as nothing, looks at as spittle, looks at as dung, all right, have hurt his children, all right, which is the children of Israel, right? And the Most High takes great offense to that. We understand that all throughout the Bible, the Most High pronounces judgment on all the nations. And it's because of their evil doing. See, the Lord is a just God. And we're going to read these precepts and we're going to understand these prophecies, right? Because the Lord is a just God. He's not going to punish the nations for no reason. There's a very perfect reason as to why these nations deserve the punishment. All right. Now, to keep it fair, we also have to understand, because we are going to read some of this as well, we deserve punishment as well. You understand? We are the Lord's chosen people, but in us being the Lord's chosen people and us entering into a covenant with the Most High, we failed. All right. We broke the covenant. Us as a people, the only way that I can put it is we spit in the Most High's face. The Most High extended his hand out and we slapped his hand out the way. That's what we did as a nation of people. So we certainly deserve judgment. But the difference about the way the Most High reacts to something like that versus how somebody like us would react to something like that is the Most High is merciful and long suffering. All right. He looks at us and understands that we're just bad, terrible children that need correction. All right. And the punishment, we're already facing our punishment. That's another thing. All right. We're already facing our punishment. This captivity is our punishment. The Babylonian captivity was our punishment. The Egyptian captivity, all of these different captivities that you've seen the children of Israel go through time and time again, that's been our punishment. We're going to find out, though, that the nations are going to go into an everlasting punishment, an everlasting judgment. And certain of those nations are going to come to an everlasting condemnation. I mean, they'll be wiped off the face of this planet. That's something else that we're going to find out tonight. All right. So we're going to read all of these precepts and just really get an understanding of the prophetic nature of the judgment of the nation. So we're going to be in the book of Nahum. All right. A lot of people don't go to this book of the Bible. When I say a lot of people, I'm talking about Christians. A lot of Christians will not go to this book of the Bible because this book of the Bible, Nahum the prophet prophesies against the nations, and Christianity and most of the world religions, they avoid negative judgment unless they just telling you you're going to go to hell, which is just fairy tales, right? But they don't want to tell you that there are certain nations that are going to be put under judgment and under subjection because they have taken a group of people into captivity. We're going to find out that this prophecy in the book of Nahum, the 2nd chapter, pronounces a judgment against the nations for taking our identity, for putting us into captivity, for treating us wrong, right? We're going to find that out. Nahum, the 2nd chapter, we're going to read the first verse. It says, "He that dasheth in pieces is come up before thy face." All right. So now, before we read the rest of that verse, right, it says, "He that dasheth in pieces is come up before thy face." This is a prophecy that Nahum is delivering to the children of Israel. So imagine he's talking to the children of Israel. So who is this person that's dashing in pieces, right? He says that this person that dasheth in pieces is before thy face, meaning they've come up against the children of Israel. Who's that dashes in pieces? All right. We'll hold this and go to Isaiah the 14th chapter real quick. All right, just to understand who this is talking about. All right, Isaiah 14 and verse 6 will give us the answer to that. Yeah.
14.
Come on, Isaiah 14 and 6.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 6. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that rules the nation in anger is prosecuted, and none hinder it.
Right, and this is, you got to get it off there for me, Select. It's a weird keychain, right? And this chapter in Isaiah the 14th chapter, this chapter is a prophetic chapter about the king of Babylon. All right, and this is a proverb against the king of Babylon. All right, because they have exalted themselves to try to be like God. He's played God, right? He took the children of Israel into captivity. All right. What? Took the children of Israel into captivity, treated them harshly, all of those things, right? If you understand the Babylonian captivity, then you know. All right. Well, this is talking about that king, right? It's talking about the Babylonians. It says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. All right. This is somebody that's just bloodthirsty, that just cannot get enough. This is that same person that Nahum is talking about that dasheth in pieces. All right. He that ruled the nations in anger. All right. Understand that no righteous rulership can come out of an angry rulership. What do I mean by that? A rulership that's, ruled by emotions. A rulership is ruled by, your feelings and that's not how righteous rulership comes about. Okay. And that's how Babylon conquered. And if you know anything, now Babylon, ancient Babylon, all right, was a Hamitic rulership. All right. The so-called Africans of today. Okay. And everybody knows that there are people that are known for being extremely down low and dirty. All right. Now, fast forward to today in 2024, the modern day Babylonian captivity, the people that are likened unto the Babylonians is the so-called white man. All right. Which is also a bloodthirsty demon of a monster. Okay. And he rules the nations in anger. He rules the nations in anger. What do that mean? Think about how our oppressor has treated us in America. All right. He's treated us like somebody that's just angry that we even exist. All right. And that's how he rules over us. Understand? But what we're going to understand about this person, about this group of people, about this nation, all right, is that, slide me 1 second. All right, forgive me. All right. So now we're gonna go back to Nahum the 2nd chapter. I just wanted y'all to understand that that's who this is referring to. It says, "He that dasheth in pieces." All right. Nahum chapter 2 and verse 1. We can read that from the top again.
It's like you. You said Isaiah 2?
Nahum 2 and 1.
Nahum chapter 2, verse 1. He that dasheth in pieces is come up before thy face.
So now that person that we're talking about, that evil, cruel, wicked ruler, is come up before the Israelites' face. That's who our enemy is right now. All right, keep going.
Keep the munition.
Keep the munition. What is the munition? Munition is short for ammunition. All right. These are things that we need to use to gird ourselves, to protect ourselves, right? To defend ourselves. That's what munition is. Keep going.
Watch the way. Make thy loins strong.
Fortify thy power mightily.
All right, because this is such an evil and wicked and cruel oppressor that we have to gird ourselves. We have to protect ourselves. We have to watch the way. We have to watch out for this oppressor. All right. This is prophetic in nature that we are going to be in captivity under this evil, cruel ruler. There's people, listen, there are nations that we've been in captivity under where it was, it's captivity, but almost business as usual. We just couldn't serve the Lord the way that we wanted to. But this oppressor, this captor that we have, all right, is cruel and wicked and evil. Not only is he going to stop us from serving our God, but he's going to whip us, the scriptures say, with continual strokes. All right. Continue what they do, they will not let up. All right. You think about giving a child a whipping for something terrible that they've done. Eventually you stop. You understand? You give them the whipping that they deserve. They go crying back to their room and it's over. All right. Our oppressor is the type that'll just give us lashes until his arm gets tired. Just a wicked and cruel ruler. All right. And so the Most High is telling us, look, this is the oppressor that you're facing. So be prepared. And how should we gird ourselves up? How should we gird our loins? Our loins. All right. Not like the Black Panther. This is not talking about taking up arms against the oppressor. We see how that has worked out for us. All right. The so-called Black Panthers, the NFAC movement. You understand all of these different movements. All right. That tried to take up arms against the oppressor and tried to go into their Capitol buildings with AR-15. All of that stuff sounds nice, seems militant, seems like what is the right thing to do, but we see the end of those things. We see how those things turn out. This oppressor, all right, this fight that we fighting is spiritual. So this oppressor, we have to fight not by going to the Capitol building with AR-15s, okay? Because you see what happened to the Black Panthers. You see what happened to the NFAC. You see what happened to any of the militant organizations and movements that we've come up with, Blacks, Hispanics, and Natives, all right? All of us have come up with these different movements and organizations to try to come up and take arms up against our oppressor, okay? And it has not worked. It's failed us. And the reason why is because we can take up arms against our oppressor and go to the Capitol building with AR-15s and then go back and snort cocaine off of a white woman's tail. All right, which is what was the fall of the Black Panther Party. You understand? If we don't have morals, if we don't have the Bible that is the binding of the book that keeps us together, that keeps the pages of the Israelites together. All right, if we don't have that, it's it. You understand? We fall out, and that's what's happened to us continually. So the Lord is telling us to fortify our power. All right, we go into the book of Psalms, the 83rd chapter. It tells us that the Most High is our power. All right, let's keep reading. Nahum 2:2.
Nahum chapter 2, verse 2. For the Lord have turned away the excellency of Jacob as the excellency of Israel.
And look, the Most High has. Now, remember, I told y'all at the beginning of the class that this is definitely going to be, pronouncing judgment against the other nations. But we have to understand that we're facing a judgment right now, too. All right, the Lord has turned away our excellency. He's turned away our excellency. All right, the scriptures also say, this is what Solomon said in the book of Ecclesiastes. He said that he has seen servants on horses, all right, and kings walking on the field. Like, the Lord knows our position. And we should know it too, but the Lord has already designated our position. All right, our position on the earth is as kings and priests. That's what the scriptures say. We're supposed to be the hierarchy. We're supposed to be the top, the creme de la creme of the earth. But of course, because of our disobedience to the Most High, we've been set on low. All right, and that's what this judgment that we're reading about right now is talking about. That's what it's referring to. Nahum 2:2 is telling us that the Lord has turned away the excellency of Jacob. If it wasn't for the Lord doing that, we would still be on top. But the problem is, it's not the Lord's fault, it's our fault, because we're the ones that have caused the Most High to make that decision. You understand? When you go back into the book of Kings, which I advise everybody to go read the books of Kings and Chronicles, right? You find that the children of Israel have a problem with doing good. All right. And this is something that you can attest to in your daily life, right? In your modern life in America. But we can go back and see and look at the times of old, and we can find that Whenever we're in a time of prosperity, we leave the Most High. All right. And that's prevalent in the Book of Kings and the Book of Chronicles, right? Because we would always have a wicked king, a real wicked king that would just cause us to go and take hold of idols and worship false gods and do everything against the scriptures, and the Lord would curse us for it. And then we would go back to the Lord because we were so downtrodden in such a low estate. All right. We would go seeking the Lord's face again. And then we would come back to keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. And the Lord would give us a righteous king that would lead us, all right, and keep us on that path, right, and have us to keep the commandments, the laws, the statutes, do everything right. But that's when we got our blessings, and we continue to have those blessings. We got used to it, and we start to slip every single time. Every single time we start to slip, all right? And when we slip, we fall deeper into that hole, you understand? And we begin to leave the Most High and leave our covenant, all right? And so that's the reason why the Lord has turned away the excellency of Jacob and turned away the excellency of the children of Israel. Keep reading the second half of 2. We're going to find out the way that the Most High has turned away our excellency. How has he done it? Go ahead. Second half of 2.
For the emptiers have emptied them out and married their vine branches.
The emptiers have emptied them out. Another thing we have to understand too, right? Is that the Lord uses the other nations as wicked hands. You understand? He uses a murderer to murder. You understand? He uses a thief to steal. All right. And that just goes to show that these other nations are murderers and thieves. And that's how we've turned away, or the Lord has turned away our excellency, right? Because the emptiers, the thieves, have stolen. They have emptied us out and marred our vine branches. What did that mean? They have destroyed our image. They have made it to where, look at us today, right now in America. We're looked at as thugs. You understand? We're looked at as drug dealers, drug abusers. We're looked at as all the negative things. White women clutch their purse when they cross the street when we walk past them. When that's not our character at all, to be thieves. You understand? When we go back into the history of America, Black people and Hispanic people were never the ones that were doing the crimes. All right? It's the crimes that America is known for and that they try to push on Black people actually started with the Italians and the Irish. All right, the Italian mobs and the Irish mobs. The Irish mobs were so bad that the United States government had to give them the police force. They had to give them a section of the police force so that way they could do something with their time other than terrorize the city. You understand? Like you got to understand that we've only learned in America, Black people and Hispanic people, we've only learned our evils from the other nations. You understand? There would be no Larry Hoover if there wasn't an Al Capone, if there wasn't all these different so-called Italian mobsters and gangsters. You understand? There is no Tookie Williams, these different gangsters that we see growing up that America glorifies. America glorifies Italian mobsters. You understand? They glorify those people. Why? Because America was built on that. It was built on murder and bloodshed. It was built on thievery. All right. But as soon as Black people take a hold of it and Hispanic people take a hold of it, now we're the enemies. Now we're the evil ones. All right. But we're the ones, we're just following suit. But of course, we get the short end of the stick. But now, once again, that also spills into the fact that that's our judgment. Because the other nations, the Most High said that he don't know them. Amos, the 3rd chapter, tells us that the Most High don't know the other nations. That's why they don't get punished. But he does know us. We are his children, so we get punished. He don't punish the kids down the street for being bad kids. He'll let their parents do their thing. You understand? But when you come home from dealing with them and doing those wicked things, I'm gonna punish you for your iniquities. That's what the Lord tells the children of Israel. Understand? But once again, point being, right, is that they've destroyed our image. Al Capone is like a idol. Everybody loves him. You watch that movie, The Godfather, everybody loves the Italian mobsters. Everybody wants to watch the Sopranos, and they idolize those people. You understand? But when it comes to when a black man commits some sort of crime, they label it as soon as they hit the news reports, they're a thug, this gangster. What's the brother George Floyd that died? The brother George Floyd that was murdered by that police officer that put his knee on his neck. All right, they labeled him as a thug immediately. They labeled Trayvon Martin as a thug. The boy was young. He was a teenager. Labeled him as a thug. Put a picture of him up in a hoodie with a menacing look, trying to make him out to be some sort of evil person. They've marred our vine bread. They've made us look like, we're the scum of the earth. All right, and they've emptied us out. They've stolen everything from us. Let's get Jeremiah the 10th chapter. I want y'all to understand that this is something that's spiritual. That the reason why these things have happened, all right, is because it's something spiritual that's going on, and we have to address it now. Because once again, it's 2024, and the scriptures tell us that it's high time. We got to kick this thing into high gear, all right, because the Lord is getting ready to judge these heathens. He's getting ready to judge the other nations, and we're going to find that out, all right. And once again, we just read a few precepts to understand why the Lord is going to, he's going to put judgment down on these other nations. We're going to find out some of the details in just a second. Let's get Jeremiah 10 and 25.
Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 25. Pour out thy fury upon the heathen that know thee not, and upon the families that call not on thy name. For they have eaten up Jacob.
For they have done what?
Eaten up Jacob.
Right. The other nations, the scriptures call the other nations heathens. The term heathen or Gentile, when you go into the Hebrew, goyim, all right, it just means nations. All right. And that's a majority what the Most High will call the other nations, right? The people that are not the 12 tribes of Israel. And this is a prophecy in the book of Jeremiah that's saying that the Lord is going to pour out fury upon the heathen that don't know the Most High. Remember, Amos the 3rd chapter says that the Lord only knows us, and Psalms the 147th chapter tells us that the heathen don't know how to serve the Most High either. So that's who this is talking about. It's talking about the other nations and the families that call not on the Most High's name because they can't know the Most High. They can't know the Lord. All right. But why? Why is this prophecy going up? All right, against the other nations. It says, for they have eaten up Jacob and devoured him and consumed him and have made his habitation desolate. That's what the other nations have done to the children of Israel. The other nations have eaten us up spiritually. You understand? They've devoured us. The scriptures say that the other nation, the scriptures say in an allegorical sense that the other nations are beasts. All right, they're beasts of the field. And they come and they devour the lambs. That's what the children, or the sheep, excuse me. That's what the children of Israel are referenced as throughout the scriptures, is the sheep, the lost sheep of the house of Israel. All right. The other nations, the beasts of the field, come and devour the sheep. What does that mean? They take from us. They kill us. They take from us. You understand? And that's what we find throughout the scriptures. And the Lord is going to pronounce judgment against them because of those things. All right. Let's get Psalms the 10th chapter real quick. Let's get Psalms the 10th chapter. David does a good job at describing this as well. David saw some of these things firsthand when it comes to the other nations and why they deserve punishment. All right. Let's read Psalms 10 and 8.
Psalm chapter 10, verse 8. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. Right. This is talking about our oppressor. It says he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. Keep going. Into verse 8. Slightly. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. Right. This is a perfect description of our oppressor and a perfect reason as to why they need to be put to death.
All right, because he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, in the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. These are the characteristics and the attributes of our oppressor. All right, and our oppressor has done a terrible job on us. What I mean by terrible is in the sense that they have done everything that this scripture is talking about. Everything that David is talking about here, that's exactly what they do. They set their eyes privily against the poor. Who are the poor? All right. Who does Christ call the poor? He calls the Israelites the poor, right? The meek. The scriptures say that the meek shall inherit the earth. All right. Well, that's the Israelites. And the other nations set their eyes against us. All right. And once again, in secret places doth he murder the innocent. See, because it's 2024 and we have access to the internet, all right, we can see a lot of the things that a lot of our people never knew before. All right, we find out a lot of things about what our oppressor has done to us that were never common knowledge. Common knowledge. We understand that, our oppressor, put us into slavery and killed us and things like that, lynched us. Those are like kindergarten level understandings, damn near. All right. But when you actually do the research and understand, these people have done some treacherous things to us and got away with them, especially in this nation, in America. All right. They, in the secret places, they've murdered the innocent brothers and sisters that have done nothing to nobody but exist. All right. And be the children of Israel. All right. These other nations have done that, and they sit in the lurking places of the villages. They're a sneaky bastard, man. When you go into the book of Genesis, you find that the serpent, all right, that serpent, that snake that you found that talked to Eve, that beguiled Eve, that wasn't a literal serpent, a literal snake. That was a man with the characteristics that we're reading about right now. All right, that's the type of beast that man is, and that's our oppressor, the Caucasian man. You understand? He's this type of person. He's going to lurk. He's going to sit in the lurking places of the villages. He's going to murder in secret the innocent. All right. And his eyes are set against the poor. Who other nation could this be talking about? All right. This is talking about our oppressor. Keep reading verse 9. Psalms 10 and 9.
Verse 9. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in the den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor.
Mm-hmm.
He does catch the poor when he draws him into his net.
Once again, this slithering beast is who he is, man. He lies in wait secretly as a lion does in his den. All right, a lion in his den, he's plotting. A lion, his entire life, all he's doing is looking for food. And lions are carnivores. So what does that mean? They have to hunt their food. A lion, his whole existence is about eating and drinking. It's about survival. All right. Well, much like a lion, that whenever he's in his den, he's only plotting on how to get his next meal or to have to get his next kill. That's how our oppressor operates. All right. He operates in the exact same way. He sits in his den and he's waiting to see who's going to be his next kill because they're bloodthirsty. That's the type of people that they are. All right. And so he lieth in wait to catch the poor. He's not going up against the mighty. All right. Understand that. He's going against the destitute. That's why our oppressor, that's why America doesn't want to go against Israel. When I say Israel, I'm talking about the common modern day Israelis. All right. Why? Because they actually have power. America don't want to go up against China because they actually have power. They don't want to go up against Russia because they actually have power. He won't go against the mighty. He'll pick on Iran, though. You understand? Which Iran, they're not our people. The Palestinians, they're not our people. You understand? They heathens like the rest of them, but they are amongst the poor of this world because of the fact that they don't have military might that equates nearly to the might of the American military. All right? They're bullies. America is a bunch of bullies, man, and they pick on the poor. And so now that same bully within its own land, within America, to the people that they stole and have made destitute, the so-called blacks and Hispanics, they bully them. And then they pick on them for being poor. You understand? And they step on them because they're low. But they're the ones that have made them low. That's the type of people, that's the type of oppressor that we're dealing with. All right, he lieth in wait to catch the poor. And then it says he doth catch the poor. So he does catch the poor because that's the easiest thing to do. So that's exactly what you would expect from somebody like this, a bloodthirsty murderer like this. All right, and it says when he does, he draweth him into his net. Give me verse 10.
Verse 10. He croucheth and humbled himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones.
That the poor may fall by his strong ones. What's his strong ones? It's talking about the military might of America. All right. And that military might, I'm not just talking about, your Army, Navy, Air Force. I'm talking about your police force. You understand? The people that our oppressor has set in place, all right, to be taskmasters over us. You understand? Keep going.
Verse
11.
Verse 11. He hath said in his heart, God had forgotten.
And he said in his heart, God had forgotten. He don't think God see this. Keep going.
He hid in his face.
Mm-hmm.
He will never see it.
Right. He said, listen, these people think that God has hid his face from the Israelites. That he's ignoring all of these things. And that's Job, the 20th chapter talks about this. Job talks about the fact that these other nations, all right, these people, there's the wicked, right? That's what Job calls them, the wicked. All right. They live a long, ripe old age and think that they've gotten away with the wickedness that they've done. And in that, right, they believe that the Lord is not seeing all of their evil deeds. Like they believe that they've gotten away scot-free. And that's what we see here. What we see that David is talking about, same thing Job is talking about, same thing I'm telling you about I don't want to say just the American, this oppressor, the Caucasian race, and all the other nations that have come up against the children of Israel. All right. They believe that the Most High has forgotten, that he's hiding his face. He allowed us to be in this slavery for 400 years and go through all of these things. So they believe that the Lord is okay with it. But we find that the Lord is not. All right. The scriptures say that the heathen have taken it too far. They were an instrument of destruction for the children of Israel, but they've taken it too far. We find that in the scriptures. The Lord allowed the other nations to have a hand in our slavery and our captivity, because that's what the Lord said would happen if we broke our covenant and our contract with the Most High. But the things that they've done to take it to the next level of disgusting injustice is not on the Most High's plan. It's not on his plan for us to have gone through a lot of the things that we've dealt with. So they think that they're getting away with it. They think that the Lord is hiding his face from their deeds. But in all actuality, the Lord is not. He sees everything. And he sees what's happening. And the Lord is going to judge them for it. All right. Give me chapter 14 real quick, if you don't mind. Psalms 14 and 1.
Psalm chapter 14, verse 1. To the chief musician, a Psalms of David. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God.
And the fool have said in his, this is what the other nations believe. They say in their heart, there is no God. Now, they say America is a Christian country. A lot of these cats are either Christian or Catholic. They don't actually believe in God. That's just a cult that they want to be a part of to feel better about themselves. They don't actually believe in the Most High. All right. So the fool saith in his heart that there is no God. And what does that do in turn? We just read in the 10th chapter of Psalms that they don't believe God is watching down on the children of Israel and all of the things that the other nations are doing, the crimes that they're committing against the children of Israel. They don't think that there's a God watching that. So the fool saith in his heart, there is no God. Keep going.
They are corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good.
And there is none of these other nations that doeth good. Don't let none of these cats fool you. There's no such thing as a good oppressor. No such thing as any of these other nations. I don't want to name drop the the nations, of course, because of YouTube censorship, right? But there is no good Edomite. There is no good Amalekite. There is no good Ishmaelite. There is no good of any of the other nations that you can think of, right? And that's what the Bible says. All right. Why? Because they're corrupt. and they have done abominable works. And they have done something that the Most High sees as an abomination. The scriptures say that the law says that you get cut off, all right, for doing an abominable thing unto the Most High. All right, keep reading. Verse 2.
The Lord looked down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that did understand and seek God.
Right, and so the Lord looked down. He's trying to see, any of these cats going to seek me? Keep going.
They are all going aside. They are all together become filthy.
There is none good. None of them seek the Most High. Keep going.
There is none that doeth good. No, not one.
Not one. Not a single one. There is none that doeth good. None of them say they might say they seek the Most High. All right, but they don't. They don't seek the Most High. Well, how do I know? Because it's in the Bible. You understand? Now, they might say they do. They might even feel like they are, but they're not truly seeking the God of Israel. If they were, they would chain themselves up in front of this building. They put some shackles on their wrists and put a big chain around their neck and tie themselves to the front of this building. And when I get back to this school tomorrow, I want to see them ready to serve. But they're not going to do that. You understand? They won't do that because they don't actually want to serve the God of the Bible, because the God of the Bible is going to put them in chains. Keep going.
Have all the works of iniquity to knowledge.
Have all the workers of iniquity no knowledge?
Who eat up my people as they eat bread, and call not upon the Lord.
They eat up the Most High's people like they're eating bread. What this is an analogy for is the fact that they kill like it's nothing. They destroy us like it's nothing. They don't care how we feel. They don't have a heart. They don't have a soul. They're just bloodthirsty demons. And I hate to break it to you, but this is how the Bible describes them. Now, maybe the Bible's not for you if you don't believe this. Maybe you think there are some good oppressors. Maybe you think there's some good Edomites out there. But that's not what the Bible says. The Bible says that none of them are good, and they all eat up the children of Israel like they eat bread, because they're bloodthirsty demons, man. Let's read this last one real quick, all right? And this class is going to be a little bit shorter, understand? Because I just wanted to, get these precepts. I wanted to show y'all some of these prophecies about the judgment coming to the other nation. Now, of course, we have Isaiah the 14th chapter that talks more in depth about, the servitude that the other nations are going to have to go into. All right. We know Ezekiel the 35th chapter talks about the blood that's going to be shed. Obadiah specifically, right, talks about how the Edomites are going to be cut off. All right. But I wanted to get some of these ones because it goes into the why. Why do they got to be cut off? It goes a little bit more in depth, right? Let me get Job 18:5. All right, Job 18, chapter the 5th verse, it says, yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. That's it for the heathen, man. Heathen are going to get cut off. All right. It says their light is going to be put out. Verse 7 says, the steps of his strength shall be straightened. What does it mean when it says the steps of his strength shall be straightened? It's talking about the fact that his knees are going to become weak. The strength that he walks in right now, that proud look that he has, all right, he's no longer going to be able to walk in that. He'll be weakened by the Most High. All right, the Lord is going to weaken these other nations. All right, the same way that they weakened us. All right, they have downtrodden the children of Israel. The Lord said that they'll become downtrodden. The steps of their strength are going to be straightened. And it goes on to say, and his own counsel shall cast him down. What does it mean his own counsel shall cast him down? When you go into the book of Revelation, it says, render unto her, double unto that which they've rendered unto us. So the things that they've done to us, we're going to do to them. Now, Esau has such a terrible and wicked imagination. They've done some disgusting things to us. That's not what this Bible is talking about. All right. But that servitude and that captivity, we're definitely going to render it back on their head. The bloodshed, we're definitely going to render it back on their head. You understand? And they did all of those things by their own counsel. Psalms 83rd chapter, right? The crafty counsel that they've set upon us. All right. They've done all of those things by their own counsel. Well, that same counsel is going to fall on their head because now we're going to do the same thing to them through the power of the Most High, right? Verse 8 says, for he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare. Matter of fact, if we go back to Psalms the 10th chapter, I just want to read one verse from there because the things that they've done to us are exactly what they deserve, right? Psalms 10:2 says, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. If you know anything about the book of Esther, right, and the Feast of Purim that we just celebrated here a little bit, a couple months ago, all right, there was a wicked Edomite by the name of Haman, or Haman, however you want to pronounce it, and he sought to destroy and eradicate the children of Israel while they were in the land of their captivity. All right. He sought to commit a genocide against the children of Israel. Okay. And one main thing that he wanted to do was he wanted to hang a valiant brother by the name of Mordecai. He wanted to hang him. All right. So what he did is he built a gallows. He built a gallows. A gallows is basically, it's a platform. You got a big platform that you set up onto, and it's got a big, strong piece, a beam across it that you can tie a rope to, and you can tie a neck. Tie that rope around somebody's neck, throw them off of that gallows, and it'll, of course, hang them, right? It'll snap their neck and choke them to death. All right. Well, that's what Haman had designed for Mordecai. All right. Well, Haman was found out, all right, by the king, Artaxerxes. All right. He was found out that was his intention. Long story short, right? Of course, we teach a whole lesson on this, right? But that was found out that was his intention. He ended up getting hung on the gallows that he built for an Israelite. He fell into his own snare. Not only him, but his children also. And that thing is so beautiful. That is something that's going to happen on such a larger scale, because the snare, right, the trap that the other nations have set for us, they're actually going to fall into that trap. They think they're cutting us off by putting Planned Parenthood in our neighborhoods. You understand? They think that they're cutting us off, getting rid of us. In all actuality, they're setting themselves up for that failure. You understand? Because the Lord sees all of these things. So now the Lord is going to cut them off. I'm going to read that again. Psalms 10:2, it says, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. Such a beautiful thing. You understand? And that's part of the judgment that these people are going to have to face. They have to face this judgment. And they're worthy of it. They deserve it. You understand? But that's all we're going to read for now. I just want everybody to understand that this is something that we got to look forward to. But we also have to realize, once again, when I started this class, it's two parts to this, right? Because, of course, the children of Israel are being judged as we speak. We're in the land of our captivity right now. You understand? So we have to understand that there's something that we must do. We can't pronounce judgment on the other nations, read this Bible and mock the other nations when we not right. You understand? We got to do our thing too. We got to get right with the Most High, or you might end up a part of that judgment. I taught last week that, we are looking forward to the chariots coming, but some of those chariots are built for destruction. They're not all built for salvation. Not all of the chariots are going to beam you up and save you from America. Some of those chariots are built with beams to destroy America. And that means nobody's getting on those. You understand? And so you might see the chariots come and think you done did what you needed to do. And that chariot you're going to be in the building that it destroys. So you got to be careful, man. So once again, you have to make sure that, yes, the Lord is going to absolutely destroy these other nations, but are you doing what you need to do to make sure you don't become a part of that destruction? Because that's also prophesied. The Lord said that he's going to purge out the children of Israel. You know, he said he's going to plead with the children of Israel like he did in the wilderness. And how did the Most High plead with the children of Israel in the wilderness? He killed them, man. Killed a lot of them. Opened up the earth and swallowed them into the earth. So you got to understand the God that you're dealing with. You better keep you under the contract so we can proudly pronounce judgment against these other nations. All right. So with that being said, man, look, the wife for tuning in, y'all. I know today's class was just a little bit short, but I just wanted to make sure I got these precepts straight and to the point to understand why these nations deserve the judgment that's coming to them. All right. Once again, we got classes every Tuesday through Friday at 7 p.m. and every Saturday. Our Sabbath service is held at 11 a.m. We're at 12416 North 28th Drive. We're in suite number 4, right off of the corner of 28th Drive and Cactus. All right. With that, shalom, Israel.